What's going on, everybody? It's Tyler here with Worship Innovation, back again with another ProPresenter 7 tutorial. Today, what we're going to be doing is working with text, and I'm going to be showing you guys how you can quickly create engaging lyric slides for your worship team, and just the quickest workflow, for working with lyric slides. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I need to import a song into my library. And I'm going to do that through the search feature over here. So I want to do Holy Water by We the Kingdom. So I'm going to just type that in, and I'm already linked with Song Select, so I can easily choose which version that I want. So here is the version that I would like. So I'm going to press Import. I want to import this into just my default library. I want my slides determined by line break instead of paragraph break. And I want there to be 2 delimiters per slide. That basically means like 2 line breaks per slide, which should make this be 2 lines per slide. I want it to be the same size as my screen, which is I'm outputting to my main MacBook Pro screen. So that's a 1680 by 1050 screen. And I'm going to choose the theme that I would like to import that with. So I really like this white box template that I created here. It's very similar to, the stock 2-line box template, except for I just made it to where it's able to do multiple lines other than 2. And I want to go ahead and add this to my playlist tutorials. You can do this if you want. You don't have to. But I would like for this to be in my playlist already. So I'm going to import that now. So from this point, really, most of the work is done. We can see that we have 2 lines per slide appear in our view window. And everything is really nice and really easy to do. Now, we do have a transition going on. I want to get rid of that. And you can see now we've got the, There is a little bit of an issue right here where we've got 1 line, 2 lines, and then another line. So we can fix this really easily going to the Reflow editor. So the Reflow editor is a great way for you to quickly reflow and edit all the lyrics on every single slide. So in order to fix this area, rather than opening up the editor, copying text, pasting the text, all I'm going to do is I'm going to real quickly merge all of these into one slide. And then I'm going to click here. And I'm going to use a hotkey, Option Return, to insert a slide break right there. If you don't want to do that, you can just insert slide break. But I like the hotkey, Option Return. So now we've got 2 lines per slide there. Also, really quickly, I hate having parentheses, so I'm going to just go ahead and get rid of those parentheses. And I also do not like really old language like this, everyday. So I'm going to just change that to regular everyday. So instead of having, EV apostrophe RY, I'm going to just make that everyday like usual. All right, so now if I go back, we can see that this should be fixed. There is kind of this bug going on in ProPresenter 7 where sometimes when you reflow text, the theme doesn't update. If that's the case, just select your song, go back to the theme, and let's go to white box and choose our template. And now you can see that that's resolved itself. So that's just kind of a little bug that's I've noticed is present here when working with the themes. Sometimes when you reflow your text, then that happens. We could also easily reformat this if we wanted 4 lines per slide. We can just really quickly go in here and delete some of our line breaks. And now if we go back, once again, I kind of have to I have to work around this bug, so reapply my theme. And now you can see we're really quickly at 4 lines per slide. So very simple how to do that. Like I said, I like 2 lines per slide, so I'm going to just go back in here and option return. But what's great about the Reflow editor is if you're trying out new things, you can really easily make these changes, and it doesn't take you very long to reverse them. So now we are back to 2 lines per slide, and that's it. Okay, so now you'll notice, though, that this is not the entire song. So we go to this bridge here, and there should be a chorus after this verse. There should be several choruses after this bridge. It's not complete, right? But we do have all the individual sections. We have the verse, we have the chorus, we have verse 2, the bridge, and the ending. So I'm going to show you guys the quickest way to build this out, where previously, you might think you need to copy and paste and all this stuff. It really is much simpler than that in ProPresenter. This was available in ProPresenter 6, but it's also in ProPresenter 7, and it's called the Arrangements view. So if you click right here, this little, I don't know exactly how to describe this, but this button right here next to your operator notes is called the Arrangement view. So the master arrangement is just how the song is imported. So that's the master arrangement. If I were to edit this, then that would become the master arrangement. But I'm just going to create a new arrangement. I'm just going to call this default. Now what we can do is we can drag these individual sections from our master arrangement down here to our default arrangement, or whatever we've titled this, to create a new arrangement of the song. So I'm going to add a chorus after bridge 2. And then I'm going to add another, actually this bridge gets repeated. So I'm going to add a second bridge here. And then I'm going to once again add 2 choruses after the bridge, and then it goes to the ending. Now what I'm going to do, once again, this is kind of a bug in ProPresenter 7, so you'll notice that this hasn't updated. I'm going to just click on my default arrangement again to select it. And now you'll notice the song is built out in its entirety. Okay. Now, I'll show you something a little extra that I like to do for all of my songs, just to make the presentation seem a little bit smoother on the output. So I'm going to first select a piece of media for my background. This song talks about being in a desert, so I'm going to use one of these desert backgrounds from Visual Media Church. To show here, and notice that this is the spot that I don't like. So I'm going to switch you guys to a full screen view. Okay, so we've got our motion background. It looks good. And then, boom, the text is right there. It just pops up. Now, to my eyes, I don't really like that. So what I'm going to do is add a transition just to this slide. So back in ProPresenter 7, I'm going to just right-click, go to a transition. I like to use a dissolve with just like 0.6 seconds. Very short dissolve. But now if you look in our, our output window, there's a very nice smooth dissolve there. So if I go to our full screen, you can see we've got our motion background. Everything looks good. And now there's just a smooth dissolve there. So now I use the cut transition to get to the rest of the lyrics. All right, but I use the dissolve anytime there is going to be an empty like instrumental section or something like that. All right, so I'll also use it for, I have currently set to my slides to display, or my copyright to display on the last slide. So what I like to do is this. So here I have this final slide here, but what I like to do is add a dissolve to just a blank slide at the very end. So now that will dissolve in, and it'll show all the copyright information there that needs to be shown for your CCLI license and all of that. I like to just display it at the end of the song, but that's up to you where you display that. But I like that dissolve there to just show that. And then from there, we will fade into the next song. Now, there's also a few instrumental sections in this song, so I'm going to actually add a new slide here. I'm going to right-click it, going to group that as an interlude, okay? Now, what I'm going to do is go back into my arrangement view, and I would like there to be, let's see, there's an interlude in between verse 1 and verse 2. There's an interlude in between chorus 1 and the bridge. And then there's an interlude after the ending, which we don't need because we have this blank slide anyways. So I have a couple of interludes there. So now I've got these blank slides where once again we will have the problem of the cut looking kind of abrupt. So I'm going to add that transition there as well. So during those interlude sections where the band is playing, there will just be the motion background. So what's cool about this is that with the way the arrangements work, you'll notice I put my transition here. It automatically went over here. So if I change the transition to like a push, you'll notice now this has changed to a push. So since it's this is kind of the master interlude and it's just copying this over here automatically, all your transitions follow, which is very nice. So now you can see, once again, take you to full screen. You can see here we've got this. We go to the interlude, it's going to fade out. And then now what we need to do is we need to add another transition to the top of verse 2 because that's coming out of the interlude. And we need to add a transition at the top of the bridge there. Now this is where we're going to encounter a problem with our arrangement view because putting the interlude at the top of the bridge right now is copying that there. So in order to fix this, we are just going to go to a cut transition, and we will most likely just have to deal with it for this slide. A way that we could kind of alleviate this would be to maybe label this as bridge 2, and then label this, or go back to our master arrangement here, and then label this as bridge 1, and then we can just copy and paste those, label another as bridge, group another one as bridge 2. And then when we go to our default here, we will just have bridge 1, bridge 2. And so now that we are on our default view, hold up, it did not update. Once again, that bug in ProPresenter 7. So now I can create my dissolve transition for that, and then these can be there. So these didn't quite copy and paste in the same order, but you can get the idea. So that's one way that you could alleviate that. So now you have a smooth transition coming out of the bridge there. And this song would be considered done. The only other thing that maybe you could do if you really wanted to be extra is add a few extra backgrounds and do some dissolves or something like that. But essentially, this song is done. Now, one thing I do want to show you guys really quick. Let's say that you like the way that your theme is looking, but let's say you really quickly want to change the text to maybe, demo some other fonts or, play with different font sizes. This text editor over here is super powerful. It allows you to adjust all of the text on the entire song. So for instance, right now I'm just using the standard Helvetica, but at my church, we've just started to use the font Futura. So allow me to find that. And I really like using Futura Medium. All right, and we have started using that at about 55 point font, or actually 65. But we can easily change the size of our text if we want. So like I said, Futura medium. We could also do maybe Futura book just because. But now all of our text has been changed. We can see though that some of our slides have been made three lines per slide because the text is running over. So I don't want that. So once again, we are going to use Futura book, but we'll go to, let's say, 65. Okay, let's try 70. So it happens at 70, so maybe 68. I want this text to be as big as I can get it with having 2 lines per slide. So 66 seems a little crowded in my text box, so I'll stick with 65. So now it's nice, it's big, we just quickly changed the font, and this is what our lyric slides look like. So we've got our motion background that comes up, our dissolve into the first slide. We quickly can go through the rest. We get to the interlude, it dissolves out. Verse 2 comes in, we dissolve back in. We get to the end of the chorus, we dissolve back out, dissolve back in at the bridge, get to the end of the bridge, go to the chorus, the ending, and then we dissolve out into the copyright information. So we really quickly imported a song from Song Select. We selected how many delimiters per slide we wanted to go ahead and make our flow of our song super easy. We quickly changed that flow using the Reflow editor. We then added extra slides as needed for interludes and grouped them as such. And then using the different groups, we created an arrangement of this song, super easy, by just dragging the groups in the proper order. And in doing so, we saved ourselves a lot of time by just doing this one song. And, you know, we made a really great looking lyric slide. We were also able to quickly change the text to whatever we wanted using the new text editor in ProPresenter 7. So, guys, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Obviously, this is how you should be doing every single song with your, with your worship slides. It took us a little bit longer to get through this in the, context of a tutorial, but honestly, this takes me just a few minutes every single week to get a single song done, and I'm able to just really quickly blow through my songs, get them done, and using the arrangements feature allows me to just look at a chord chart of the song. I build my master arrangement based on the number of sections in the chord chart, and then I just rearrange those to match our chord charts on Sunday, so it's always perfect. And you never have to worry about, having lyric slides in the wrong order. So, hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to leave it a like and a comment, as well as subscribe to the Worship Innovation YouTube channel and turn on notifications so that you get access and you're notified of all future videos that we post. Also, check out our website, worship-innovation.com, for the latest blog articles and podcast episodes and everything related to worship innovation. Thank you guys so much, and until I see you next, keep on innovating.